Patreon Q&A 163. There's going to be spoilers for all of the series I'm going to be talking about, so tread carefully. Sean H asks, do you think it's possible that if Deku was born with a quirk, that it was stolen by Dr. Yujiko and given to Shigaraki? I thought it could have been Decay, meaning that was Deku's original quirk, but the timeline does not match up. But it does match up. See, currently Izuku is 16 and Shigaraki is 21, meaning they have a 5-year difference. And if we go back to when the Decay quirk blooms in Shigaraki, it reveals that his age is 5. And it's also revealed later on in the series that quirks manifest by the age of 4. So considering that he's suddenly getting Decay way after he's supposed to have developed his quirk originally, and also that means that Tenko, aka Shigaraki, was born quirkless. That's a giant red flag. Not to mention that at the beginning of that chapter, we see a man dropping him off at his house. A man who is wearing a suit and is tall and has a hat and his face is obscured, and he kind of looks like All For One, because it is All For One. Not confirmed yet, but in my opinion, this is absolutely him, because he had found Tenko and gave him Decay, then dropped him off at his house, and later that day it bloomed and led to the tragedy that created Shigaraki. But that begs the question of where did All For One get Decay? So like I said, 5-year difference between them. Tenko developing this quirk when he is 5, so that lines up perfectly with a newborn Deku having a fresh quirk to be stolen, right? Keep in mind that this is even playing into the big popular theory about All For One being his dad. That's a whole other rabbit hole. This is just something tangentially related to that. So if we go back to chapter 1, we'll see the iconic reveal of Yujiko hiding in plain sight this whole time. It's obviously not a coincidence that he's there, and the one to specifically be delivering the information to Izuku that he is quirkless. But first, this video is sponsored by Extra Wallet. That's right, guys, my favorite sponsor is back, and that's because they're running a Black Friday sale right now with up to 40% off site-wide. That's a big deal, guys. So if you're waiting for a good opportunity to get an Extra Wallet, now's your chance. 40% is a lot. So now that I have a collection of these things, I can really give you a good breakdown. This is the first one I have, and I still love it, but I eventually got an upgrade to the aluminum model, which I still currently use, and that's because it's fantastic. But recently, I just got this bad boy, the Parliament. This is the most powerful one I've gotten so far, and it's so nice that I honestly don't even want to use it that much. Kind of like a special occasion type of thing. And like I said, I use these things literally every day. I love them so much. So guys, please check out Extra Wallets and their Black Friday sale that is currently going on, where you can get up to 40% off site-wide. I have a nice affiliate link in the description for you to click on. Please check it out. Thanks, guys. So what I'm thinking this all means is that Izuku was likely born in that hospital. And for a very long time, since we know that Yujiko has that longevity quirk, he has been monitoring the newborns of that hospital. And whenever a newborn has a variant quirk or something like that, he'll take notice of it and then tell All For One, and then All For One will take it because it's obviously useful to them. And I say variant quirk because that's how Yujiko describes Decay. And it being a variant quirk means that it's essentially just spontaneously came to be with the birth of that individual, meaning that it wasn't like hereditarily passed down from one parent or is a combination of both parents' quirks. This kind of falls into the same tier as Rewind, or at least what Rewind is implied to be. So this could also be a cool little way to maybe connect Izuku and Eri more, since they both could possibly have been born with variant quirks, which led to the death of families, such as, Eri's, and, obviously with Tenko's case, Shimura's. But anyway, hypothetically, Izuku is born with the Decay variant quirk just randomly, catches Yujiko's attention, and he has All For One take it. So All For One takes this new variant quirk, and he's like, oh my god, this is perfect. I can give this to Tenko, the grandson of Nana, who I have been monitoring because I'm trying to nurture him to become the future symbol of fear's vessel. So if I give him this Decay quirk, he can accidentally decay his family, therefore have enough emotional trauma to break him and become my servant so I can build him back up. Extinction Team 75 asks, if a student from My Hero had the ability to intern with an S-class hero for One Punch Man, who would you like to see intern with who? So I'd really like to see Bakugo go intern with Bang, because I think Bang would probably see Garo in him. I mean, I personally do to some extent, so Bang would definitely know how to deal with him and how to train him, and I would love to see that because obviously the interactions would be amazing, but the end result of Bakugo, not mastering the water stream, but having some of it implemented into him, that's just like pure fan fiction gold. Delamante asked, if Mihawk joined Shank's crew, do you think they'd be the strongest crew in the world, including the Marines? So when you say including the Marines, are you also lumping in the world government there? Because you kind of have to, and if that's the case, then I'd say no. They'd for sure be the strongest pirate crew, but I don't think they're surpassing the Gorosei and Im. Geruda asks, do you think Kuma will ever be / can be restored, assuming he's not dead, of course? I think to some extent he will for sure. It's kind of been being set up that way. It would be anticlimactic and kind of un-Oda-like if Kuma just has like this weird tragic ending, despite giving us some glimmer of hope that he might have some kind of comeback, you know, because revolutionaries did go there to save him specifically, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if once Vegapunk is revealed, he probably has like a hard drive with Kuma's personality on there, and then he could just give it back to him or something. Mateo asks, in chapter 334 of My Hero, in the All for One Vestige world, we see Tenko being held by the hands. And considering that part of the consciousness is contained within the quirk factor, do you think this could represent the original quirk that Tenko was supposed to have before decay? I don't think so, because I do think that Tenko was born quirkless, so this probably isn't a remnant of his original quirk factor, but more so a remnant of his innocence that was embedded into the DECAY quirk factor, like as soon as he got it, before he killed his family, you know what I mean? Or it could be after he killed his family. Not exactly sure about the timeline here, but I do think that this represents like the true Shigaraki, because Shigaraki is not Shigaraki, he's Tenko Shimura. Shigaraki is All for One's name. So you know what I mean? Like, the person that we have come to know, his true form is the little kid Tenko Shimura, and I think that's what this is representing. Will Terrio end up on Ground Zero like the webcomic? If so, how could he end up there? That's a great question, and I'm not really sure right now, but he has to. Like, I for sure think that's going to happen because he needs to be there at the very end for Garo's like final redemption and to give him a reason to like distract the S-Class hero so he can run away. I do think that's pretty much 1-for-1 going to happen in the manga's continuity. I don't see why not, and considering that Terrio and Garo's relationship has been built up way more in the manga than the webcomic, I think this for sure is going to happen. So, one way or another, expect Terrio to come back. Little Ferrari asks, in your Dragon Ball Super Chapter 78 review, you said you think Goku might obtain a new form, possibly something Bardock has. So before I go any further, let me just say that I was stressing in that video that it would be some kind of ability and that a form was possible if it wasn't an ability. Your question here really hinges on you thinking that I was banking on it to be a new form, but that's just not a case. I thought it was gonna be like an ability if it was gonna be anything, and then secondary like a form, meaning that it could be something that complements Ultra Instinct rather than replacing it. That's why I was talking about Bardock's clairvoyance ability, because that could play into like enhancing the whole Ultra Instinct thing, the dodging and dipping and the thinking and the moving without thinking stuff. Imagine if he could do that in combination with Foresight. It would be like Ultra Instinct with Observation Haki from One Piece, and would be a logical next step in Goku's power progression, but it ultimately depends if Toriyama wants to take it there, or even has the thought process of taking it there, you know what I mean? That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. I want to thank all of my patrons for continuing to support me. Thank you so much, guys. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, simply check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. And if you liked the video, guys, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.